Network.
Justice Ginsburg has our opinion this morning in case 08-1175, Florida versus Powell.
In Miranda against Arizona, this court held that before police question a suspect in custody, they must clearly inform him of his rights. These now familiar Miranda warnings include advice of the right to have a lawyer present during interrogation. In this case, Tampa police arrested Kevin Powell and read him the standard Miranda form. Among other warnings, the police told Powell he had the right to talk to a lawyer before answering any of their questions and the right to use any of his rights at any time during the interview. The Florida Supreme Court held this advice inadequate. The right to counsel warning was misleading, the court believed, because it suggested Powell could talk to an attorney only before the police started to question him and did not convey that the lawyer could be present throughout the interrogation. We reverse. Our opinion first confirms that we have jurisdiction to hear this case. Powell argued that we lack jurisdiction because the Florida Supreme Court relied on the state's constitution in addition to Miranda. Hence, the decision rested on an adequate and independent state ground. This court's decision in Michigan v. Long counsels otherwise. When a state court decision appears to rest primarily on federal law, and the independence of any state law ground is not clear from the face of the opinion, Michigan v. Long requires the court to presume that federal law controlled the outcome. Here, the Florida High Court's opinion consistently trained on what Miranda demands rather than on what Florida law independently requires. Thus, no alternative state ground impedes our jurisdiction. On the merits, we hold that the advice Powell received satisfies Miranda. By telling Powell he could talk to an attorney before answering any of their questions, the Tampa police communicated that he could consult with a lawyer before responding to any particular question. And the statement that Powell could invoke this right at any time during the interview confirmed that he could exercise his right to counsel while the interrogation was underway. In combination, these two warnings reasonably conveyed Powell's right to have an attorney present at all times. To reduce the risk that a court will later find Miranda advice inadequate, it is in law enforcement's own interest to state warnings with maximum clarity. The FBI standard Miranda warnings are exemplary. On the right to counsel, the FBI informs suspects, you have a right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions. You have the right to have a lawyer with you during questioning. Different words were used in the advice Powell received, but they communicated the same essential message. Justice Stevens has filed a dissenting opinion in which Justice Breyer joins in part.